On Friday, we opened up the 5-day moving average, and we had some very early selling. Now, at this point here, now in your mind, you must be trying as much as possible to chart the precision algorithms. Now, the precision algorithms are important. As you have already watched the previous many episodes, you will realize that the precision algorithms are the ones that will guide your breakout, and they will be the one that gives you as much profits as possible in that straight continuation here. So it's important, and you have to change your mind about worrying about missing trades. Because if you are a newer trader, you will see this and you will feel that you're missing out. You feel that you're missing a trade. But if you get better at this, you will realize that identifying that precision algorithm becomes really important, right? Because you see how that blue algorithm that we identified in this case became very important much later in the day. You see it for yourself. So if you missed a big part of this, right, and we identified the magenta here at 9:41, right? So identifying the magenta was important because we did see some very small microstructure here, especially with the precision. So this early trade here, you could have caught it because of the 5-day moving average. Now we're looking for a trade here, possibly here. You see the magenta, you see the orange. Now I charted the magenta a little earlier than this, but it's a little tight, it's a little too quick. But if you saw it early, and you saw that green precision algorithm could have caught the way down to an early candle trade here. Something that I may take this, but not on the Friday. Wasn't too keen on this in the start of Friday here. And that's fine, right? So we identified a few very key levels here. By then, we already saw teal. 9:34. In the first 4 minutes, we already saw the teal starting to build liquidity here. And I just want you to see for yourself how beautiful the teal algorithm is. Now, this teal is beautiful too because you see, if you miss this, that's fine, right? Because firstly, you have that magenta. Secondly, you have that teal. Thirdly, you have that 5-day moving average. And lastly, you have the precision algorithms. So this retracement here, right? Remember, when it is a structure that's forming too quickly, a retracement will usually form the shoulder here, the right shoulder. And we had the retracement here. Beautiful. Let me show you that again, how it looks like as a shoulder, right? So here and the shoulder here. You see it for yourself off the magenta. It's a breakout and retrace move off the magenta, off the teal, off the 5-day moving average. So you have a very clear target here for your resistance, tight stop loss for this particular move here. Now, the only problem with this particular early trade, for sure, if you manage your risk well, you get into good positions, you can ride it down this teal for sure, certainly. But I would very much prefer to take profits from the precision algorithms as early as I can in the early candles here. But a possible entry here. Now, I would prepare for a trade near to the 5-day moving average instead to go long. Remember what I said here, right? So I talked about waiting for microstructure of the 5-day moving average, and you see how important that is, because until 5-day, and this is not representative because it was actually like that, right? Because the chart refreshed, so you're seeing an average line throughout the day, but it was actually like this. And you see it reject the 5-day moving average just multiple times in the day. We have not built support of that 5-day moving average. Now, just to show you how it truly looked like on that day. Yeah, see, it's just rejecting the 5-day moving average, 1045, rejecting it perfectly. Right, so remember once chart loads, this is just an average of the entire day, but as it was live, it was like that. So it rejected the 5-day moving average. There's no need to go long. And we also had the pink algorithm penny perfect as well. So if you wanted to go long, breaking from the precision algorithm and off that teal, this would have been your long entry here. One trade here. You shouldn't go long here anymore. Instead, you should be waiting for cups to close, as I mentioned, right? And building a structure of that 5-day, preferably with a bounce and retrace as the support of the 5-day moving average, and seeing a stronger buying continuation, in this case, the orange that brought us out of here. Right, so absolutely no reason to go long here. Right, so you have to know what to be doing here. Now, if you are treating this as a head and shoulder pattern, inverse head and shoulder pattern here, with this as the left shoulder liquidity, you have to only go long once you break the teal. You see the pattern here, isn't it? So as long as it's not out of teal, you cannot go long here, right? And in fact, we've identified the pink, so there's no reason to go long. Only up to here again, and once again, a retracement 5-day as your support will be great. That will be a more ideal situation to go long. Retested the 5-day moving average here. I charted this magenta. This was important because you saw some early tapering right here at the top. Now, if you were to continue charting the magenta, you wanted to take a trade here. This is a possible. It's pretty beautiful trade here, especially once we started tapering near the top at this range. Especially once also we had that failed continuation here. Now it's important you see that the bulls did try to grab this liquidity. There is some buying continuation. This is where I keep reminding you that having a precision algorithm is very important. Now, if you had a precision algorithm here to guide you on the breakout, you would have taken profits and know where to cut your losses if this does not break out in time, or wait for a breakout and retrace. So right here you saw the magenta blocking the way here. So this was quite straightforward. We charted the magenta, blocked the way, had a tapering. So you wanted to see if that magenta continues to have some tapering here, and indeed it did, because we had that retracement here before it started pushing down all the way to the bottom of the magenta before we needed to build more liquidity at the bottom here. So this is what we were preparing for as well here, with the magenta and the orange here. So this was quite straightforward because it didn't break out of that pink algorithm here. So it's pretty straightforward. Liquidity was here. You needed to grab it. Now, the only problem were this couple of candles here. Now, these are news candles. Right, the market reaction of a very key line here. Now, you cannot be taking puts here. Remember, as I always mention, you're too late if you're taking puts near to the support or calls at resistances. You have to be able to identify which is your precision algorithm that will guide this breakout. So if you were taking this, let me just chart the magenta so it's much clearer for you as I drew it here. See, the retracement's perfect, isn't it? Penny perfect. And if you were to be taking that, you will have to use the blue to guide you. Right, so this is where you will see the blue guiding you on the trade, on that trade here. Let me zoom it in a little bit more. Now, if you were to be taking that early trade of this, you would have multiple places to protect or even reload once we got back up to that retracement. And you would have to protect by that magenta. Tell me now, how can you short it here unless you have that blue breaking out of here? Where will be ideal to short this? Let me show you where I think will be ideal is when we break out and retrace like that I would definitely have shorted that if I see the blue in control on the breakout of the magenta. So don't get caught by this. Now, in fact, you should consider taking calls here. It's a better zombie trade. However, as I always say, do not call reversal in the precision. So it would be too late too, because, well, you see, this is a 1 minute candle, right? So there were instances where it bounced out and out of that. So you could have chased that trade, maybe on the second candle here, this one, which is still very substantial. It's about it's a 1.5 point candle. It's still substantial if you got a good fill. You can protect the trade in time of this bounce here. It also provided a beautiful stop hunt, as I will demonstrate it later. And you see how we started bouncing back off. And it's difficult to trade this, let me tell you that. I would trade this only if I got into a beautiful position and protected in time. But as you see, if you charted that blue algorithm diligently, you still could have caught this trade if it started to push its way down. You see that? It's beautiful, isn't it? Now, I would wait for this structure to start stabilizing. I would wait to see blue precision. This seller is activated. It's live. It's there. You want to latch onto this blue seller after the very key structure that started forming. What's the key structure again? Tapering here at this range. Retesting this liquidity that we started to build earlier. Right, you see it happening. And so the blue is starting to build on the way down. And you have to wait for a retrace here. Now, this is important. I talked about this. I mentioned about the retracement here. You want to be waiting for this QQQ's 5-day moving average on the retracement of the second magenta algorithm. You saw that, right? So once we had that breakdown here, this, if I'm not wrong, let me just double check. Yes, this is where the QQQ 5-day was rejected, exactly as it is. So you see, wait for the second magenta to build liquidity. You saw the precision algorithms here. And you can use the blue precision algorithm to continue to guide your shorts down. It helps so much when there's precision algorithms, when the algorithms are penny perfect to guide you in your trade. You can certainly plot this teal to guide you as well as a secondary stop loss target for your trade, especially for your protected runners. This is an absolutely beautiful trade, isn't it? Now, I mentioned about teal. You saw teal. Do not call the reversal until teal is broken. Let's take a look. Where did I mention that? Yeah. Teal has been selling, so you have to wait for teal to break at least if you want to take a zombie. So you see there is no need to take a reversal here. Right, if it took a zombie here, fine, that's great, off the break of blue. A little risky because we have broken blue several times, but it's difficult to manage this. But if you took this trade here, you have to protect it by teal, see? You have penny perfect algorithms to guide even when your target is. So you cannot be too hopeful. Some of you want to take it to the 5-day moving average. Take it level by level, algorithm by algorithm. If you protected it by then see if your runners get there. Don't be this hopeful. You can't trade by hope, remember that. But otherwise, you see how it started rebuilding more liquidity again, isn't it? And once again, that retracement of that magenta, at this time weakening in that teal. See, it started selling in blue, and now it started selling in teal. A bounce is coming, a zombie is coming, and you have to prepare for it. You could take a zombie here, absolutely, because this was, if I'm not wrong, this was the gap close as I was talking about, and once we reclaim the gap here on the breakout of that teal, this would be a viable trade. I didn't take this trade. No. Let me show you a better trade. Wait for this to appear, right? As I mentioned, if there is a reversal, let me just tell you what I said. Now, if there's a reversal, right? Just want you to see it. Yeah, exactly as it happened, isn't it? How do you know? Because you're able to identify the structure with the algorithms, right? Especially the QQQ 5-day. Well, it was actually here. But I want you to see it for yourself. It's beautiful of that pink algorithm right there. And obviously this blue. Sorry, this teal algorithm there. Absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Now, I mentioned several things here. I mentioned about, let's see. I wanted to talk about breaking the magenta cleanly. I mentioned about that. Where is that? Right here. Now, volume will pick up. Strong buying precision will appear and break the magentas clean. Right? Now, the volume started picking up a little bit more. Then, let me just zoom it in to see it for yourself. And you see the volume starting to pick up throughout the second half of the day once we started breaking out here. Right? You see the volume has started picking up, especially near to the end here. It's not easy to identify it when you have the entire volume profile there. But if you're watching the candles became stronger, larger, moved faster. And you see how the precision algorithms, the buyer has appeared, right? The buyer has appeared. In this case, the blue. The buyer has appeared several times trying to build some momentum within the orange. So this is a trick here I want you to see. Right, if you see the strong buying precision appearing several times within the larger, well, you know then this buyer here, this institutional buyer is trying to build some momentum to buy, continue its way up here. So that's fine. What's more important is this penny perfect pink algorithm here, and you see we had some retracement. Orange is still in control, and I want you to see my trade here, right? Because if I charted this teal and this pink, you would see the trade absolutely beautifully, right? Especially off the retracement of that pink here. Can you see that? Now, I want you to see my trade here. I just posted it near to end of day. Let's see. I can't really see that. 1449. All right, so 1449 is here. Here of this red candle. I remember taking it on the red candle. I'm trying to time it when it bounces off that pink algorithm here. I saw pink becoming resistance. I saw pink defending, and I saw the pink liquidity that's building here, and the teal is starting to build this. A little risky here. And only because I have the magenta to guide me for my stop loss. So my stop loss were magenta right here to grab this liquidity. A little risky, but only because I saw this, well, buyer that appeared, a certain reclamation in place as well. So at this point here, I took a trade here and rode it up. You had beautiful precision that broke out to a squeeze off to the 5-day moving average. And I took profits by, can't really see it here, 330, 33, 330. Yes, right at where 5-day moving average is. Not too greedy. I took it where it should be. Now remember, the 5-day was actually like that. Right, I took profits off that 5-day as it should be. Beautiful trade here. $27,000. absolutely beautiful. All because you were prepared and you understood how to be looking out for the algorithms and the structure over there. Now, thereafter, another trade here, but it was the final. I'm not too keen about this because it's the final 15 minutes, not even the final half an hour. And you see, we were obviously looking out for that liquidity here. It didn't have time to grab it. But you see orange and magenta still in control. A big part about this trade is breaking out of this initial magenta, right? We broke out of it cleanly and, more importantly, built more liquidity on the way up. However, we didn't break out of this magenta, right? So we had the rejection of the magenta here. Likewise, if you charted another magenta algorithm, you would have caught this trade here too as well, if you wanted to, especially off the rejection of the 5-day moving average with that engulfing candle. Now remember engulfing candles here? I talked about it in the first few episodes of the training video, and you just see guided by the blue, because if you charted the blue, you would have definitely be able to catch this trade near to end of day. Is this a realistic target? Absolutely, right? As I mentioned, in the middle of the wedge, this is safe, right? This is a very safe spot to close. Middle of wedge, indecision. So even though the market technically went nowhere in the middle of the range, look at how much profits you can find compared to being someone just wants to take something out of the money to gamble, right? Whether it's up or down, directional, just hoping, just buying a lottery ticket and just hoping for the best, or the market chops you up within this range here when you can find so much profits. Now, $27,000 here. Can you imagine if you caught this, if you caught this, if you caught this, or even if you caught this final 15 minutes? There's just so much potential. And this potential is there for the taking because we have penny perfect algorithms right there. So absolutely beautiful. You just have to learn to find profits in the charts. The market was kind. We had a large range because we had lots of imbalance from the start of the day. So this is the same theory that I've always talked to you about. You don't worry about pre-market action. Some of you, well, you want to trade this, fine, but you have to scale down because the market can't bail you out with enough moves if you made a bad one. But if you see lots of action pre-market, there's imbalance, you will probably see some volatility when the market opens. So don't be too fixated on this. You're probably not prepared. You're probably not ready. And so you're not focused to trade as well. However this you are. And we enjoy the imbalances that's formed. It's not as if we missed this move, right? This move here has built the volatility for us to enjoy later. So pick your battles, choose them wisely, and don't always be wanting to catch every single move. And that's with a covetous heart, if you know what I mean, right? You cannot be coveting what the market is doing, right? You gather clues when you're out of the game. And when you're in it, you focus and you make use of all the information and you try to attain your objective. Now, some of you, your objective is to catch every move. That's not realistic. Some of your objective is trying to chase the high of getting into a good move. That's also a bad objective. Right? My objective is just to find profits and to feed my family. So it comes with discipline. It comes with consistency, very importantly, right? In most important, it's not driven by greed. It's driven by what I see, what I can conjure or muster up from the charts. And because I live a very frugal life, I'm not greedy over the money. I can feed my family so easily with one candle. Literally one candle I can feed my family if I want to take a trade. So I'm not going for the big moves, right? If there's a big move, I see it, I take it, fine. That's a great bonus. But if you're entering into the market with this desire of wanting to catch. I don't know. Some of you come in hoping to make tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands a day. Yes, there is a potential for that. But if you're living a life that requires you to do that, you give yourself pressure, it makes you see things that don't exist, and you're just going to start losing money. So the mentality, the approach, they all tie in together. You have to be very clear of your objective. And so you're able to focus on your objective on the trading floor and not be distracted. You need 100% focus on this. It's not easy because you're making split-second decisions that has to be almost instinctive. That's almost based on what you believe in. Based on what you believe in, your values. So you see what I mean when you're making a trade. If you're not attuned internally in your heart and in your mind, you don't have that clarity or that purity in your spirit, in your mind, you're not clear on your objective, it's hard for you to make decisions, right? And this is why some of you hold your losers too long because you're not focused. You're not clear on your objective. You oversize and you do not want to see your money go away, and that's just a very warped, twisted thought because your money is going away if you don't cut your losers. But because you scale up so much, you can't bear to part with that liquidated loss. You have to be very careful. So this comes with clarity of your mind, and you have to be prepared. You have to know your objective. And the chart, what I'm trying to show you every day is that there is opportunity, there is potential. You literally can change your life with the trade. Now, you don't have to always catch it. There are opportunities every single day, multiple opportunities. So you have to learn to just extract the profits, and you will get there. One trade can change your life eventually, but you have the skill to extract it, and well, you're increasing your probability. Say we have 3 opportunities to change your life every day. 3. And for simplistic sake, that's 200 trading days. You have 600 opportunities in a year to change your life. Learn the skill to do that. This gives you so much higher probability. It's insane. But if you're hoping to just catch one trade, one tweet from someone to change your life, that comes irregularly. That comes once a year, twice a year, maybe once a quarter. You don't even know when is it coming. How are you going to change your life? But I can change my life on a daily basis, regularly, by exhibiting the same skill that I stack up over time, that I improve my finesse over time. That is inevitable. Your success, if you are focused and you know your objective, because every day there are opportunities. I want you to see it that way. See trading that way instead of looking at it as gambling. You see it as a skill that you can hone, you can build. I want you to see the gold mine that we are looking at today. So much opportunities and profits. And I want you to learn how to manage your risks, because for you gamers out there, this is hardcore mode. If you inflict yourself with an injury that's life-threatening, you're dead. This is like life. So you cannot play a game with no consequence. And most of us, when in today's world, the games have no consequence. You lose, that's fine. Respawn. That's not great. I grew up at a time where your avatar has only one life. We play hardcore mode. And you make more consequential decisions. And it's the same, right? You improve slowly. You're not trying to take unnecessary risks. So if you're raising your child, play such games. Ask them to play such games where there's a hardcore mode, where there's an Iron Man mode, where you do not just make inconsequential decisions. So you take more risk than you should. But instead, right, I remember building up a character in the game, right? I take it literally step by step. Every small increment is good for me as long as I stay alive in the game. Likewise for trading, right? You cannot take too much risk. You must learn your risk management, improve it slowly. And I want you to see there's opportunities every single day. So tune your mind, right? This is the lesson for you on this entire week, as I've shown you, right? 27 just for one day. For the rest of the day, I've shown you. Let's see. I don't even remember. How much was this on? Yeah, 10,000 on Thursday, right? 5 figures. Once I hit my target, I'll call it a day mostly. Right, 15 on, when was this? Wednesday, I think, FOMC. Right, Tuesday, I think it was 12. Yeah, 13 on Tuesday. One trade is all I need, right? You hunt for that trade. And 8,000, about 8,000 on Monday. Wait, this was Monday, right? Oh, Tuesday, sorry. That was part of the trade. Monday, 7,005. So you see, you can find profits in the charts every single day, as long as you know what you're doing. This is not the first time I'm doing this. In fact, there are several. Go check it out, all my analysis. You see all my trades and how to be looking out for the opportunities there. Right, so start November with a clear mind, pure heart, clear objective. Take it step by step. Learn to identify opportunities here. Right, now that I'm feeling better, I promise you, I will provide more guidance like this in trading videos. I will be creating more content for you to guide you, building a strong foundation until 2026, and I will guide you even further with the new year. So let me look into it. I truly want your success. And I think 2025, 26, I want to make sure that I do my absolute best before anything happens to me. Yeah, let's get there, man. Do your best, yeah? Thank you very much.